Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So, hope that's why you're here because that's what's going to be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have a weekly wrap-up. It's coming a little late. I know it's how I roll lately. It's cool. We still like it. My lights are not on behind me. What the fuck? Ta-da! Not that it really did much. But anyway, I got a weekly wrap-up. This is my week 17 weekly wrap-up. This is from April 20th to April 26th and all my reading shenanigans in between. So if you'd like to find out what was occupying my time, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat. Let's get talking some books. Forgive me. I have a cold. Still working on it. Sound weird. And if I cough, just bear with me because y'all been sick at least once in your life, okay? Y'all have. So, what I read in week 17, I completed 2 books and started 2 more. So, the first book I completed was The Vampire Bargain by Jasmine Wald. This was the first installment to the Empire of Eternal Night and in my Black Hat Book Coven pick for the month of April. It was Christina's pick. We all had a great time with this book. I gave this thing a 4.5. 4.5! Yeah, Black Hat Book Coven books are kicking ass and taking names lately. Very, very excited. It's a good season. It's a good season of the Black Hat Book Oven. In this book, we have graphic sexual content, a very, very slow burn, but delicious. And found family with an enemies to lovers trope. So, quick summary. We follow Katana, which, by the way, as soon as I read the name Katana, all I could think of was Mortal Kombat, which, when we get to the spice, comes to play real hard. Not gonna lie to you. We'll get there. But just think, Katana. Fucking love it. If you ever play Mortal Kombat, she was my bitch. Alright? Anyway, we follow Katana, who is captured and hidden away for 50 years. She's a vampire slayer. Part witch. She's a part witch vampire slayer thing. Okay? So, she is hidden away by her estranged lover. But she is rescued 50 years later by a vampire. No less. By a vampire. And she is thrown into a world completely turned upside down because the sun no longer shines and she has to learn to survive. So we've got kind of a fish out of water element as well. But this survival comes at a price, okay? You see, to survive and to figure out her way in the world, she has to make a bargain with the enemy. Vampire. Remember Vampire Slayer? Vampire. Enemies. Here we go. She has to make a bargain. And here's the bargain. We don't really know what she's getting out of it right now. Okay. But she has to kill the Emperor of the Vampires. The vampire raised her, brought her back to kill his king. Okay. Dope, right? But can she trust this vampire? Because she spent years off in these bastards. All right? Can't you trust him? We don't know. What other secrets is she going to learn as she traverses herself through this new world? This new world of no sun and eternal night and vampire realm where humans are raised as slaves and basically body bags, blood bags, okay? Can she ever accept what she truly is? Because she has secrets too. And we learn them. And it's awesome. Oh my God. It's so awesome. I had such a good fucking time with this, okay? Such a good time. So let's break it down. What worked? World building. Okay, straight up gonna be honest, when I read this on Kindle, there's this whole like hierarchy breakdown of all the different worlds, all the different paranormal creatures, all the different like tribes and covens underneath them. It's a shit ton. This is massive, okay? Massive. I was slightly intimidated at first. Although I was very, very happy that I got this little reference guide. I appreciate that. I do love that. If you've watched my fantasy gripes rants video, one of my big rants is there's no family trees, there's no breakdowns. Things piss me off when you have large cast of characters. This series is shaping up to have a large cast of characters. So the fact that you gave me all this backstory, also kind of loosely how every coven and group and unit is kind of, and world is connected, that's fantastic. Because we drop in She's in a coffin, okay? She's in a fucking coffin. She's waking up after being put there for 50 years. And all this shit, her world went from daylight, me killing vampires because they're bad people, to vampires running the world in 50 fucking years and I'm still alive and I've been living in a coffin. Okay? So shit rocked, turned upside down, flipped in 7 ways Sunday, all that crap. So I felt her confusion with the intimidation factor of this world, but I loved what this author did. This author did a really good job and made you feel really, really comfortable as she was working her way through this. Yes, are there a couple pages of backstory, of connections? Yes. Can it be intimidating to somebody who's maybe not a big reader of like high fantasy? Because this is like, we're talking level high fantasy level here. Yes, but this author walks you through it. You really don't even need that reference guide. I never once went back to look at it. I read it, but I never went back to look at it because she guided you so well through the story. So I really, really appreciated that. Lots of backstory because this is the first installment in what looks like it's probably going to be a fairly long series just by the cast of characters in this thing, okay? Love this. I loved a good world building. I love the detail. I love the word usage. Did some of the girls think that she was a little wordy on like the descriptions of, you know, what everybody was wearing? Yes, you can get kind of, you can nickel and dime this if you want to. She does kind of go into great in-depth of like what people are wearing and what things look like. But there are some things that I'm just like, thank you for describing that because I'm picturing Terminator horse and that's what it was. Terminator horse, okay? That's what I got. That's what I'm going to see. And I need graphic art of this. I want to see this thing in action, okay? I need to see it. But there was a lot of this ornate detail. But the thing she did was she was consistent with it. She gave it to us all in the very beginning, and she continued with that consistency whenever we reach something new. A new room, a new world, a new person, a new outfit change that's important. Yeah, we got that consistency of that same level of description. This author did not change her writing style as the book progressed when it came to her description and world building, which I do appreciate. If you like wordy, you'll like this author. If you don't, that will get kind of hindering on you, but I'm a wordy person. We all know it. That's why my videos are 45 minutes long, guys. Seriously? Yeah. Anyway, love the world building. Thought it was on point. I love that we have a reverse Shadow Daddy. All right. So all these fantasy stories, you know, romantic, it's like the guy, dark hair, tan, and he's got the shadow force. No. Nope. Not this one. Not this guy. No. Shadow Daddy is a shadow mommy. And I'm down. I'm down for that. That's fucking hot. I was like, yes. Yes. Because that power gets utilized in the coolest way. I used to be able to want to read minds. Now I want to control shadows. If I ever had a superpower. Just saying. I loved that there was multiple storylines in this story. And there was just enough of all these storylines to build up intrigue that literally half of our live show is talking about what we see the next book doing. When you read a book and you can talk with multiple people and you all are asking, what is coming next? What is this author going to do? This author could go this way. This author could go this way. Because she's laid out all these different forks in the road. And you've read enough backstory that you're like, okay, you could take the common thing. Or you could do something, flip and reverse it, which she did do some stuff in this book. So obviously you got the chops to be able to back that shit up. So you could do this. I mean, half of that video is literally us just theorizing what's going to happen in the next book. When you have an author that writes a story that compels you to want to know what's in the next installment and what's going to happen and where characters are going to go, how she left things off, that's fucking fantastic. That is straight fucking fantastic, okay? I love that. I love that when the author gave that to me. I love that my mind was going in 7 different ways all the time, trying to figure out what she was going to do next. I don't like guessing the end of stories, but when I guess it because it's so intriguing, absolutely. When there's so many other routes she could go because she's giving me so many storylines. Also, how are all these storylines going to converge? Where is she going to go? Also, what were some of the backstories that we didn't get? There's a lot of back information that we didn't get that wasn't necessary for the story. I just want to know it. I just want to know it. And I feel like she could write a whole nother book just on this. Like, why was she in the coffin for 50 years? What did this guy do? What kind of spell made it happen? How did this happen? How did this guy find her? All these little things, hows and whys. And normally I don't like unanswered questions, but knowing that this is going to be a series, I feel safe that a lot of these questions are going to be answered because I didn't have any unanswered questions about the meat of this story. What I have is unanswered questions about future stories. I am literally seeing this web of multiverse for this book, and I just, we love this. This is fun. This is what fantasy is all about. It's so much fun. Love that. I love that we did have a toucher and die hero with proof. Okay, don't get me wrong, I do love a good toucher and I'll fucking kill you. But when you say it and you don't back it up, it's just words. Just words on a page. Cool, good for you. You're trying to sound hot and mysterious. Means fucking nothing. No, you say that and then we get a scene of you fucking offing a dude that causes you more problems because all he did was touch her. Yes, yes. Daddy, all the fucking way. Daddy, yes, thank you. Yeah. That's a toucher and die hero. Someone who says it and backs it the fuck up and doesn't think twice about doing it. Like the evidentiary material. Love the evidentiary support of a lot of the tropes in this book. There's a lot of evidence backing up the choices and the styles and the words and the techniques that our author is using. And I love that. I love evidence. It's so much nicer. It's so nice. I loved the writing style of this author. I had a great time with it. The description with consistency, I already mentioned that. Lots of detail. The reference guide was not needed. Already said that, but I was glad that it was there because that's very fun. Wordy author. Love a good wordy author. One of my favorite authors. I mean, these are her books. Like, all of her books are this big. Love wordy authors, okay? I'm a wordy bitch. I love words. Thank you. I might have a very small vocabulary because some words just convey feelings so much better. But I do know other words. And I like words. Just, I have some favorites. You can guess what they are. I loved the abrupt start to the story and the abrupt end. I mean, we got dropped in and we were dropped out. Consistency. Consistency in style, consistency in storytelling, consistency in emotional state. Loved this. You drop me in, you have me confused, you fuck with my head, you make me go through these emotions, and then I'm coming out of it, and then you drop me again, leaving me hanging like what the fuck is going on. Consistency, motherfuckers. Yay. Yes. Love it, okay? Love it. That cliffhanger was dope, by the way. Dope. Yeah. I see that going one of many ways. And I'm very anxious to figure out which way she goes with it, for sure. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be hot. Yeah. I wanted to give this thing a 5-star. I really wanted to, but there were just a few things that just kind of nicked at me a little bit. There were a lot of similarities to Sarah J. Maas. There was the found family, the same number of people, the same genders of people in the quantities. There was just a lot of them, and I understand, and I get this, that Sarah J. Maas is, she's top tier, okay? She queen, all right? She is. But she's not the end all. And I feel like that's a big detriment to a lot of romantasy authors because she executed so many things so well that even if someone is executing the same thing she did well, that is always going to be an automatic go-to. Like, oh, I've seen this done before. I've seen this done before. I've seen this done before. And the first time you saw it done was excellent. So even if this is being done well and thorough and consistent, it still is kind of like the older sister overshadows the younger sister. She's perfect, everything. She's still perfect, but because you've already seen it, it's not as special. But it's still just as good. If you've never seen the older sister, then you think, wow, you're the mean one. Until you meet the older one, and then you're like, oh, wow, yeah, you the nice one. Uh-huh. Just saying. Kind of like one of those scenarios. Yeah, it's one of those. So, I feel bad, but it's one of those things. And Kristen has actually not read Sarah J. Maas. So she did not find that connection. So she actually benefited from not reading it. So me and Becky definitely were like, oh, that's right there. But Kristen didn't see it, so it wasn't a hindrance to her. So it might work for you. It might not work depending on your back history and who you are. There was a area of this story that did give me one unanswered question that was just annoying. And it was kind of a big one. And here's the reason why I say this. Because there's a moment in this story where Katana goes into a library and does all this research about what's happened over the last 50 years to kind of get herself reacclimated, okay? She knows what happened. We don't. It's clear in the book that she knows what happened. She's had conversations. But we as the reader don't know. Why we as the reader don't know, I have no idea. Do I want to know? Abso-fucking-lutely. I want to know. Is there a reason I probably don't know? Yes. Was it irritating, though, that everybody fucking knew except for me? Yes. That's annoying. That's rude. When you walk in a room and everybody's talking about something you know nothing about, if you ever feel what that feeling is, when you walk in the room and everybody's talking about the same thing, you have no idea what they're talking about, and then you find out later that because of you, you're just like, it makes you feel kind of stuck, you know, it makes you feel uncomfortable. So that was not a cool feeling to feel in a book. I didn't want that. It was not fun. It was not a good time for me on that one. So that did knock it down because I was just like, no. Like, you didn't give me anything. Like, if you would have given me, like, some pieces, maybe not all, some, it probably would have alleviated that. All I know is that the sun is no longer shining. Why? A wall got built. Why? What? A lot of whys that you fucking know and you're not telling me. You're not giving me anything. No. That secrets don't make friends. They lower your rating in your book. That's what happens. Also, this cover really needs work. Really fucking needs work. This is the cover that I saw. There's also this one. Neither one of these give an idea of what this fucking book's about. Okay? Really, none of them. The dude in this one doesn't even look like our shadow, like our guy. Doesn't even look like him. At all. What the fuck, man? Like, no. If you're gonna put people on the cover, at least make them look make them look right, okay? There is so much detail. There is so much ambiance. There's so much unique factors to this world. I mean, we're talking about Terminator horses. This is like part horse, part animatronic thing that's being alived by this ethereal life force energy that's been like zapped from the moon and keeping him alive. So like, I picture like a horse with like metal pieces and like this glowing dome of a heart thing. Like I picture dope looking shit. I do not see that in either one of these covers. Okay, there's a lot of really cool elements in this book that could have been utilized, that could have been like, excuse me. Like, okay, I normally don't dock books for their cover. I usually don't because it's a moot point. Am I a cover whore? Absolutely. Okay. Have I picked up books strictly for the cover? Yes. Have I turned books down because of covers? Yes. But I have never taken a point, like, in my review, I've never factored the cover into one thing I don't like about the book, but I do want to mention it. That these covers suck. Fix them. There is way more cooler shit in this book. Is the artistry in this stunning? Yes. Do these reflect your book? No. That's why they suck. They don't reflect your book. They give you no inclination what the fuck's going on. And if that's what you want, then just take the graphics away and give me some really cool, velvety looking fucking gold and silver, because you got the technology, not gold, silver, like embossed thing. Yeah. This looks cheesy for what this story is. Doesn't work. Now, as for spice rating this book, I gave this thing 2 chili peppers because there's a mirror scene, guys, with my favorite finger thing. Oh my God. Loved it. Love a good mirror scene. Love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Doing anything in front of a mirror is fire. Is fire because both of you get to enjoy it. Loved it. Loved it. If you are a voyeuristic kind of person, oh, that scene's for you. Oh my God, it's so fantastic. I love it. Oh, I'm so excited. It was so good. And then on top of it, her name's Katana. And this scene is literally about them fucking with each other. They're teasing each other. They're not even like actually hooking up. And he says in his ear, I'm not that big of an asshole to not let you finish. And all I think of is Katana, finish her. And that's all I thought of with Mortal Kombat. It was running through my head so bad. I'm like, God, I'm such a fucking nerd. But I loved it. It was such a good scene. It was. There was shadow play where we used the shadows to like play during public scenes. This is like the equivalent of sending a dirty text message at a family gathering to your husband. Aha! Cheers. That's always a good time, by the way. Always a good time. If you ever get a chance to do it, highly recommend. Especially if your significant other makes really good faces. The tension in this, so cool. Tension was fire. I love... Slow burns can be really annoying. They can. They can be really fucking annoying. But when you do them right. It gets you every time. Yeah, it's fire. And I also like this concept of possibly having a love triangle. I know a lot of people are over to love triangles. I get it. Understand that this play component that we're playing with, that I see being a bone of contention in the next book, yes. But you as the reader are in on something. So you know it's not going that way. But our characters don't. So now, roles are reversed, bitches. I know something you don't know. I had a really good time with this book. I cannot wait for the second one to come out. I really want it to come out. But turns out that the author, because Becky contacted her, is actually changing this book and adding more parts to it. Because to explain things that are going on in the second book, there were parts missing in this one. So when the second book comes out, I have to probably reread this one, which I won't mind, as long as she keeps my mirror scene. Because bitch, you take it out, we're gonna have problems, because that shit's fire. Fire. Loved it. Thank you. Banking that one. Right over there. Thank you. Yes. Now, the second book I completed in week 17 was this bad boy, the Titanic Survivors Book Club. I gave this book 3 stars, I think. I gave it 3 stars. Let me just double check here, because smart ass over here, smart one, didn't write her star ranking on her notes, because brain trust, you know, I'm good like that. Oh my God. Touchscreens. There you are. We gave this one 3 stars. Okay, yeah, 3 stars. I was right. So 3 stars. So this one is historical fiction, and this is a book about books, actually. So if you like books about books, here you go. It's a good time. Okay. We also feature the theme of social class in this, and we have some LGBTQ representation, which I was not expecting, and I was thoroughly enjoyed. It was thoroughly enjoyable. Absolutely. So quick summary. We have Yorick, okay? He never actually made it onto the Titanic. He helped develop the second class library on the Titanic. But when the Titanic sank, before it left, he got replaced. But when it sank, he was listed as one of the dead. The name hadn't gotten corrected yet. And this allowed him some kind of anonymity, and he ended up moving to Paris. And he bought a bookstore, okay? After receiving an unknown, anonymous invitation to the gathering of other Titanic survivors, okay, it's listed as Titanic survivors, Yorick encounters a plethora of people, particularly Zinnia and Hayes, okay? Now, I say survivors because as we go through the story, we learn that all of these people actually were not on the Titanic. They survived because they missed the departure date for one reason or another. We learn all these different stories. So it is the Titanic survivors. That's why they call it that. During these book club meetings, it turns into a book club because they need something to talk about, something to do, and York owns a bookstore. So he's like, hey, let's do this. Let's turn into a book club because what else are we gonna fucking talk about? You know? And this friendship is developed, especially between Zinnia and Hayes. And that's kind of where our story kicks off, okay? So what worked in this? The lyrical writing. It was very transportive. I had a really good time with the writing style in this. I definitely enjoyed it. It was very easy to read. It felt very peaceful for some of the subject material that they were talking about. There was a lot of emotional stuff in this book. I mean, we're introduced to Yorick, who is supposed to be dead because he was on the dead list of the Titanic, and he's found out that he's not. Somebody knows his secret, so he's carrying this guilt. Like, does he keep pretending that he's not, that he's somebody else? Like, how do they know? We have all this emotional guilt. We also have this emotional, some of these really heavy survivor beliefs, just beliefs that, like, it shouldn't have been me. I shouldn't be here. Like, they didn't make it. Why was I spared? Why didn't I get on the boat? What was so special that I wasn't supposed to be there? And all of these kind of things. I just love the way that the writing just encompassed all these emotions, all of this historical fact, and weaved it in simultaneously, that it really felt like you were part of that book club, like you were talking with your friends and working through some of these things. I thought it was fantastic. I loved the famous novel references with backstories and legends. I'm always a fan of learning of why some books were written. Like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? What was the reason that you put pen to paper? I find that very interesting, especially when authors I respect or stories that I love, what really was going on? Like, why? Like, I make a joke. Damn near in every single one of my reviews of the Love Letting series, I think I've said in every single video, if not, I've said it multiple times about the series. I don't know what happened to Christine as a child to make her write half the shit that she did, but god damn. I love knowing the backstories, okay? I'm a history person. I like the history behind the art that is there, and it just makes that art tenfold better. Sometimes it's really not a big deal, but sometimes you get some really cool stories. And in this instance, we got some really cool backstories about some of these famous novels that I do love. And I thought that was fucking great. I thought it was awesome. It was fun. Not only was this entertaining, it was educational for me, and I learned some new shit about some books I already like. Awesome. It's about a book club. Who doesn't love a fucking book club? I'm a member of 2 of them. I've got my live girls with my smut, and I've got my online girls, which are my ride or dies, and I love those bitches. So, yay, this is fantastic, okay? Like, book clubs are fun. They're fun. It's fun to get with groups of people, like-minded people, and talk and vent about shit that you like. The good things, the bad things, the dirty things, the things you wish were real, the things you really wish weren't real, the hurt, the emotions. This is part of humanity. Why do you think people get together as friends? Even if they're not talking about books, but at least it gives you a reason to start a fucking conversation. Some people need a bar. I need a book. I like it. Had a good time with that. The longing and loss in this story. So we have a LGBTQ representation. plus kind of a little pseudo love triangle going on here. And we really feel the longing on one side and the loss on the other. And then we also feel loss for another side and the longing on the other side of the coin. Like we get to experience all of this. And I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing so many different sides to the same relationship and different viewpoints and kind of how it's interpreted and how it's felt through so many different people. I thought that was fantastic. I also liked the theme of constant surviving. So we have the Titanic survival that starts this whole thing. And this goes up through and including World War I. So we have the survival of that. Now we have two massive catastrophes, one world war and a massive catastrophe. If anybody knows what it feels like to survive chaos time and time and time again, it's my fucking generation, okay? I survived Y2K, a mass pandemic, the world ending fucking a bajillion times, okay? I survived 9/11. I survived constant barrage of this. I survived crazy politicians. I survived weird ass shit. My generation survived the wooden spoon, the invention of the fucking cell phone, and now texting and driving. Like, all I had to worry about when I was driving was drunk driving. No, now I gotta worry about fucking teenagers texting and shit. God damn it. And now I gotta survive fucking cars that drive them fucking selves, okay? That's just weird. Oil crisis, the whole 9 yards. So I really related to these characters of just like, bam, 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 one after a fucking another. Now, don't get me wrong, all generations have their stories. All generations have their world massive things. I'm not saying one generation is better than the other. Do not take that. But there's a lot of shit that I've survived, okay? There's a lot, and I'm just like, God, I just want to sleep, man. I don't fucking care anymore. I just want to sleep. Give me my books and give me my books, give me my comfy chair and my blanket, and let me just read. And my soda, thank you. Thank you. You know, so this idea of constant surviving, and then you have that survival guilt, because I do understand what that feels like. I thankfully did not lose anybody extremely close to me during COVID. Okay. My heart goes out to anybody who lost family members, direct family members, close friends, anything like that during COVID. That sucks. Okay. It does. I thankfully didn't have to go through that, but I do know I have friends that went through that, and I saw what they went through. I saw people not be able to hug their loved ones goodbye or be able to tell them goodbye because they were gone like that. I know what that looks like. Do I know what it feels like? No. I know what it looks like. And I do not envy them for that. And that sucks. And so when I saw that through our characters, it brought me back to those moments. And so this book just, a lot of emotion, this one. A lot of emotion. In a very interesting, unique delivery method. And it was a really, really good time. I had a genuinely good time with this book. However, there is some stuff in it that did not work. That's why I only got 3. This is one of those books that it had all the makings of a book that will take your heart, rip it out, eviscerate it, and put it back in your chest. It had all the makings, had all the trappings. It had longing. It had forbidden love. It had death. It had survivor guilt. It had misunderstood family dynamics. It had trauma. It had loss. It had all of these things, and it just needed more. It had all the materials, but I needed more depth to each and every one of them. I really needed the author to push further. I was at the edge of the precipice, and you did not push me the fuck off. And this book needed me to be pushed the fuck off. I needed to fall in this book, and I didn't. And I wanted it. So I feel like I ended on a 5th chord. If you ever know what ends on a 5th chord, if you study music theory at all, it's that in the crescendo, it's you just end right there. Like, dum, dum, dum. And it's supposed to go, da-dum. Yeah, you don't do the da-dums. It just ends. It's fucking annoying. Okay? It's annoying. And I was right there. It's an orgasm without the climax. It's right there on the precipice. And then the fucker decides to stop. It's an edging with no promise of end. Okay? No, I don't want that. Give me that pain. Give me that anguish. This book needed it. And it deserved it because of the materials it was talking about. I really wish the author would have just said fuck it and gone for it. I really would have enjoyed that. I wanted more internal insight from Yorick. I really, I mean, this guy, being cut out from his friends, losing the love that he wanted, not being able to have the love that he wanted because his love actually wanted somebody else. This survivor, I wanted so much more internal monologue from this man. I did not get it. I did not get enough of him. Okay? I did not, and I wanted it. I wanted it. More of him. I also wanted a happy ending for him. I wanted that. I wanted an ending that I could be happy with, and this was not the ending for him. I don't think he was done. Truth be told, when I read the ending of the story, I didn't feel like he was done. I felt like he had more to say. He had more to write. He had more to speak. He had more story, and he wasn't done. And I just feel it was slightly unfinished. So, yeah. But I gave this book 3 stars. I had a really good time with it. Definitely plan on picking some more from this author because I definitely like the way he wrote. Holy shit, yes. Fun. But that is what I read in week 17. That's what I got for you guys today, and I will see you guys all soon with another video.